Right. Hopefully everything's working well. Streaming more Zelda art. Whoops. Didn't mean to pause that. Alright, great. No technical difficulties whatsoever. Okay. So what's cool is Spotify has alerted me to a new album, Zelda and Sleep 2. I didn't even know there was a first one. So this is cool. That means I've discovered the Sleep 2 album, and theoretically I can uncover a Sleep 1 album that will also hopefully be music that sounds as good as what we're hearing. Sounds great. Sounds mellow. You know, I think we can justify not having super intense Zelda music first thing in the morning. And we will experience this album freshly together. Zelda and Sleep 2 is brought to you by Super Piano 64, Game Chops, Unplugged, released in 2024, I guess. 34 songs, 1 hour, 29 minutes. That's a great duration. The timing of these types of albums to what feels like a regular interval of me streaming these updates is a good, that's a coincidental good thing. Good music will drive our efforts. While we sit and experience a lovely album, we can appreciate music and while we're doing it, getting bored with our hands, we'll do some drawings. So we're just continuing with the occlusion shading. And every time I sit down and do this, I think, am I even doing this right? I could imagine like a serious 3D generalist of many whom I know, however, do not get to interact with anymore. That's a real shame. It would happen to be many years ago, before COVID, I would work on site at studios. I would make friends with the CG teams. They were the ones who were implementing my boards, after all. Referencing them, looking at them, and really appreciating them. They knew the difference between storyboards that solved the problems that they had to face and storyboards that just looked like they solved problems, but that actually didn't. And if something is saying that it's solving problems, but it's not, it's probably, if anything, creating more problems. So that the fact that they were usually extremely friendly to me, didn't treat me as hostile whatsoever, or at least not worth being kind to, I took that as a good sign I was doing a good job. I learned a lot about compositing and how images are made with special effects and CG, from sort of interacting with them and, you know, picking their brains about stuff. And vice versa. They would many of them were artists themselves, however, you know, didn't pursue drawing as a career. But had respect for, you know, what I did, knowing that it wasn't easy or natural for them to make a go of it the same way that I did. Some extremely talented artists, so the fact that I could hold my own in a lineup with such monumental talents was a point of pride, I suppose, at the time. I don't see them anymore, but I'll see online that they're at such and such studio now, or working for giant mega corporations like Meta, Google, Apple. And hopefully doing well. Yeah, I'm excited for this new playlist. In a complicated billowing cloth fold situation like this, there's just a lot of blocked light. And who's to say whether or not I'm overdoing it with some of these, but right now I'm wondering what kind of material what kind of cloth will it be? Some kind of something, I don't know. Obviously I've drawn it quite billowy, but will it have a matte finish? Will it be shiny and silky? Will it appear magical, sparkly? I'll refrain from going too dark, because I know that in the final, I'm actually gonna light it from beneath. Almost the opposite of what I'm doing here. Sort of silly then that I'm shading it so much, but that's kind of the lesson of the thing. I want to show a good example by not skipping steps, just by some unseen force of instinct that anybody following wouldn't necessarily pick up on. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Just for fun, we can do these things and see a little bit of the effect that shading and like a overlay design can have. This gradient overlay can give a sense of structure to the form and drive the eye. Looks like I didn't do much shading. Let's see here. On this medallion, kind of have it lifting off of the chest. There we go. I imagine light would be blocked a little bit more here too. Okay. I had occasion yesterday to see my brother and chat with him about some upcoming streaming plans that I might need his help with. He has sort of literally been a mentor for me moving on this. He's like my Obi-Wan Kenobi with the streaming stuff. I do my best to take his advice seriously. The fact of the matter is there's a upcoming window of opportunity where I may have the ability to do a rather large stream. And make a big push at getting some of this stuff done. Or at least in a better... Alright, so I'm being a little automatic with my shading right now, and I shouldn't be. Some of this is going to get blocked, but not all of that. Some of this is going to get blocked, but not all of that. Some of that there is going to be blocked. Some of that there. Okay, that feels good. In fact, I have not one, but two opportunities, I think, upcoming, about a week apart, where I might be able to do like I don't know, anything from a 4-hour stream to like an 8-hour stream, or longer. I suppose I could take a break and come back and do more. And it's not so much that itself will make such a difference. Not even trying to like make the streaming part a big deal about it. I just want to put more work into this and make a push to get some of these things actually finished, because they're a little bit of a hard sell, I think, given that the response to the works in progress has been good, but the truth is that what will come will be so much more impressive. I'm just eager to get that out there. And if nothing else, then simply because the Zelda movie is probably sailing away as a possibility for me to work on at this point. Still, when the sequel is announced, I will have my materials in order. Hi, good morning. I'm just rambling about my plans for world domination. I will try. Let's see the specific days. So what's fun is that my wife is doing like a one of those bucket list like a dream vacation with her sister to Norway. They are Norwegian by heritage, although they grew up in Alaska, and neither have been to Norway. And due to some experimenting with like the Ancestry DNA service and stuff, they've been able to sort out, where some extant family members, long distant relatives, are living in Norway, and essentially they'll have some family to visit, family no one's met, and they're just as excited over there to meet the acquaintance. everybody on that side of the family is aware that certain people moved to live in the United States and they all lost touch. So yeah, it is really cool. It's like a family mission, you know. It's like cool movie plot or whatever. She'll be out and doing incredibly fun adventures, which is great. For me, what that means is, because I'm a very kind of a homebody, it's not so much I don't love adventure, but I definitely love staying at home and drawing. And this will sort of represent an opportunity for me to make my own schedule for a couple of weekends, because she'll be gone 10 days. What that will allow, because this is theoretically extremely plausible, because I know I've got all my ducks in a row basically, is my kids, who are, you know, my largest obligation by far in terms of time and of course everything else. They can be babysat essentially at my parents' house on a Saturday night while Julie's out, and then I can do instead of going out and getting into trouble, I'll just sit right here and do some extra long streaming and get a bunch of Zelda drawings done. And that will be, yeah. And they see, you know, my parents see my kids almost every day. We were hanging out yesterday, so not almost every day, but twice a week, and on a minimum. So, you know, it's like nothing for them to babysit the kids. That'll free me up to really make a push at getting some of these seriously colored. And anything I don't finish can get finished the next weekend, because she will still be in Norway by the time the next Saturday rolls around. And if my parents aren't up for babysitting again, I know that they are generally welcome to sleep over at our other friend's house, where they're like best friends with their daughter as well. And everything, having done sleepovers before, wouldn't be an issue as far as I could tell. And they've already said as much that they want to. So I can selfishly redirect some time for myself to work on this, which would be cool. The big drive right now is to have something more or less, like, there's no reason, if I can adhere to this time schedule, I could complete the color on all of these, I think, by the end of that second Saturday. And having 12 solid color pieces of Zelda under my belt would feel like an accomplishment in and of itself, that I can tell I'm excited about. Oh, save, yeah, thank you. I can tell I'm excited about, because I'm not as tired as I should be, given all the time and energy I've been siphoning off from my normal schedule to work on this. So that's good. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Let's see how these things interact. So it's neat. It's neat to see. These colorful shading treatments applied to the color. Kind of cool. It's definitely true, though, that the file size for this is getting big, because I'm just adding more and more layers. And the bigger it gets, the higher the risk of having a crash is, for sure. Ooh, this is reminding me, and I see even right now it's having issues. The Google is stealing my here. I gotta quit out of the quit the Google Drive, or it steals all my bandwidth. It gives me dropped frames. Okay. Let me make sure there's nothing else. You never know what's going on in the background. Sometimes there could be Adobe Cloud could be updating Photoshop or something. Stealing all my precious data. How are you this morning? Are you in school at the moment, or are you doing a break from studies? Is it like summer break right now? Do they have that? Well, I hope you're having a fun summer. And in uni, we have 3 months off instead of 2. Oh yeah, okay, cool. My daughter is now, I guess, as a result of, or maybe not as a result of, but to me it seems like it might be as a result of some sort of perhaps earned, perhaps not earned reputation for not being serious enough academically previously. These days, the Los Angeles school system is takes itself very seriously, and is in my mind absolutely like really trying to prep for academic achievement at early ages with its students. At my daughter's school, you know, she just goes to the local public school, which is luckily it's a good school near us too. It's just a normal school, which is fun, and it's different for me. Like I went to private school because my parents were very concerned about public schools in Los Angeles at the time. That may have been deserved at the time. I don't think it is anymore. I think there are a lot of things that have transpired that more or less fixed some of the issues that were maybe legitimate issues when I was growing up in the public school system here. But they are taking school very seriously for second graders, I'll tell you that, at the moment. And she comes home with a lot of homework for second grader. Like, they're learning stuff like geometry and very difficult sort of complex math concepts that I wasn't learning until I was probably in 5th or 6th grade, or even high school in some of these. It's a little mind-boggling for them to be putting so much on her. Well, after having so much summertime off and getting used to a summer schedule where basically she's just hanging around, either going to summer activities like a summer camp up the street that happened a couple of days a week, or seeing her friends, all of a sudden I'm back on the taking my kids to and from school schedule because I work from home. So yesterday I did a bad thing, and I forgot that the time to pick her up from school was 1:30 instead of 2:30. And of course, the other moms at school had to call my wife and then say, are you going to pick up Kiki? And she's like, let me call my husband. So I had to deal with some of that fallout. Now, it was just stupid, innocent mistake, of course, but it was a good reminder for me to reset all my reminders and alarm clocks to make sure that doesn't happen again. I can get away with that maybe once, but if that happens again, I'm toast. The weather is hot. It's like 5:30 in the morning, and my office is like probably the hottest room in the house, but it is like I had to turn on the air conditioner getting up this morning. It's not that it needs to be worried about too much, but like it's I'm used to the weather here, but it is definitely, it's going to be in the 90s today at the height of the heat. And it feels really hot too, just cuz something about the like it's very dry. It feels deserty, the climate right now. But it all changes in an instant. The wind will start blowing from a different direction, probably very soon, and the taste of the air will have all the different allergens that come from different plants being in bloom from in the late summer. Has this sort of maddening effect on the city. All of a sudden, giant spiders will appear in the corners of buildings, weaving giant webs, and it'll hypnotize everybody en masse, and we'll be obsessed with Halloween from here out through the end of the year. It may start today. Having lived here so long and having an intuitive sense about things, this is the way it will go. I feel like it's happening today. It's interesting. There's lots of different effects, like the way the light changes now. The days are getting shorter. Staying up later while it's dark. Is it super hot where you are? I mean, it's silly. Like, I'm sweating and yet I'm drinking like hot coffee, you know? Raining. Oh, wow. Do you have rainy summers? I recently learned that it's normal to have rainy summers in a lot of places. And sometimes it rains. In Los Angeles, it pretty much only rains in the wintertime. We have wet winters. Yeah, I heard that the other day. Sometimes I wonder if all that is bullshit, but it makes sense. Or like eating spicy food during the summer. You sweat and you cool down, I guess. I like learning little things. Lots of detail in these. Here I really had fun crafting a city of ruins. Really made a go of it. Okay, light will be blocked where they're standing on the ground. Or in this case, hovering on the ground. Do you know what courses you're going to take when school resumes? How far? So I didn't go to college. I don't know what really happens at the university. Are you halfway done? Are you all the way done? Almost? Are you just getting started? You don't really get to choose. What do you mean? What do they do? Throw you in jail if you don't go to college? Or is it basically just considered a grade that you go to? You choose a specialty and that's it. 2 years of bachelor's now out of 3, but I think I want to stay for another 2 for master's. Okay. So like university is considered compulsory the same way that like high school is in America, maybe. No? Okay. No, it's literally they throw you in jail if you don't go. I mean, that's not great. Oh, just the classes you take. Oh, you don't get to choose. I see. So you pick a specialty and then the classes are dictated. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. There's possibly a little bit too much freedom in what limited educational experience I have with going to university and such. This is a bit of a problem. Sorry, I'm getting distracted from conversation. So this is sort of a teaching moment. You see these 3 lines. Well, if I can draw them. So you can see we've got these 3 lines. Or these 3 forms. Maybe it's like 4 of them. It's making a pattern that is problematic because they're too similar in size, and essentially it's drawing attention to itself without any reason for it to. And Well, I need to figure out a way to make that pattern go away. Or make it not as make it a little more inoffensive to my eyes. I don't want to be getting caught up on it. Like, if I'm getting caught up on it, that means other people might too. It's probably not that noticeable, but I want to see what I can do to just knock it back a bit. And it may be that I can simply sort of imply like a big crack or something. To break up the forms. I don't know if I love that either. Maybe less is more. There's no reason for me to make a big deal about this, but something about it is bothering me. I'll have to think on it. Boring. Boring stuff. We don't want thinking. Yeah, it is definitely that. A harsh on myself as an artist thing. But what can happen is, well, there are two things. Two truths is that sometimes something that the artist won't like, other people fall in love with. And so something that is bad can be a good thing. It's really hard to predict exactly what people are going to respond to positively with. And the other thing is people will see a drawing and they'll see the effort that is made. And so they'll definitely respond positively to like, wow, look at all the brush strokes. Look at all the time that was put in. Really amazing. Great work. Great work. But not necessarily actually love the piece or the design or the composition. Those things will be difficult for them to articulate why, though, because sometimes it's not clear what, if something is bugging them, they won't necessarily know exactly why it is. They'll just know that, you know, they like it. They can see that, you know, they were not shortchanged on the efforts. Welcome, I'll call you Inferno. That's a cool name. Welcome, Inferno, to the chat. Yeah, if people see something, or they may not even know that they're seeing it, but they won't necessarily, if it bothers them, they might not mention it out of politeness. What's up, dude? It's your first time in the chat. How do we, to what do we owe the pleasure? Are you a Zelda fan? Are you a art stream browser? Have you been lurking in the shadows? Cool. I'm doing a series of this project is about halfway done. At least with the first half, but if you're familiar with the Zelda, this image is dark on purpose. Let's see here. There's the video game Zelda, of course, is broadly known, and I've been drawing some fan art for it. Thank you. These are about halfway done. They have a lot of lighting and coloring left to go, but these are you can see some of the process with the shading happening. Today I've been adding a good amount of shading details to this image. Now if I turn some of these layers on, you can kind of see the shading effect mixed with some of the color. And I might as well turn them on since I'm pretty much done shading this one. Oops, that's supposed to be overlay. This will be multiply. Just like that. And then this one goes to overlay. You can kind of see. Cool effect. You know nothing about Zelda. Well, tell me what time it is where you are, and we'll know a little bit about you. That's my abstract way of geo-guessing your location. Because in Los Angeles, it's nearly 6 a.m. That's a little early, so I'm curious if you are elsewhere in the world. But thanks for popping on by. You can lurk, you can hang out, you can chat, ask questions about art. Are you an artist? If by chance you are an artist, then I will ask you questions. So we're moving over to this next one. Lines. I think that's it. Okay, that's enough for now. Time to shade. These headstones in the foreground are so dark already, I'm not even going to bother. They're about as dark as something can be without needing anything else. Let's see here. Okay, so that's remarkable when people know nothing about Zelda. It's like, you've heard of Mario, haven't you? Yeah. Okay, same process. Getting in there. Shading where the lighting is blocked. Oh, Jules, thanks for sharing those drawings. Those were that was fun to see. I'm glad you were drawing some inspiration. Mario is more popular, but it is a... I'm almost certain that Mario and Zelda were created by the same guy. Not just the same company, but like this, literally the same guy. Like, how do you do that? That's crazy. What does that mean? The two arrows pointing up, is that a emoticon? Oh, and besides those pencils and animal-shaped eraser, I bought a hedgehog. It looks like smiling eyes, I guess, if I had to venture. You bought a hedgehog pencil case. That's cool. Hedgehogs are fun. I'm really disorganized with my artistic materials. So I'm glad you're taking the time to get a pencil case. It's important if you have nice materials, protecting them is worth it. My dad, I've traveled a little bit and I've seen hedgehogs sort of roaming about in Scotland, for instance. Very funny animals. That was a long time ago, but not so long ago, my father adopted a pygmy hedgehog. Like a South African pygmy hedgehog, literally. And these are the cutest animals on the planet. Yeah. Here we go. Biology with Max. Have you seen these things? This is literally the animal that he had. Some of this is probably AI art. Maybe not. Look how cute. What was her name? It's probably just Hedgie. So fun. And then the hedgehogs, yeah, my dad would hold her like this. And she loved to like eat all sorts of stuff and come out and wander around, and really just a great pet. Pet Hedgie versus Wild Hedgie. Okay, well, my dad definitely had this one. The cute one. I guess that's how you know. I guess they have a real interesting trait in which they have a natural immunity to all poison. So they can't be poisoned. Or I'm not sure. Something has... There's a weird... You cannot be poisoned. You have an immunity to poisons. You have a high tolerance for poison. When my dad learned that, he basically learned that, like, you can, like, if a hedgehog comes across a naturally occurring poison, it will, maybe you're like a hybrid alien from the Alien movies, right? You're immune. Hedgehogs will take poison that they find and rub it on their spines to make them even more dangerous. And I thought that was kind of fun. And he demonstrated this. He gave... My dad doesn't smoke, but he bought cigarettes and gave the hedgehog a cigarette. And the hedgehog chewed it up and rubbed it all over its back. Because I guess for some animals, nicotine is a poison. Yeah. Can you imagine? Why would he do that? My dad is a goofball. But the hedgehog was not harmed. And he obviously loved that hedgehog and took great care of her. She didn't live long. The same, if I recall how it went, essentially the same genetic contributors that make them tolerant for poisons also accelerate their susceptibility to other diseases like cancer. And she had, unfortunately, She probably had a pretty far gone cancer when we even got her, but didn't know it. And then we took her to the vet and they did what they could, but you can't really operate on a tiny, tiny, tiny hedgehog. And they're immune to poisons. What can you do? I don't even think you can sedate them. You know? It was just nothing you could do. R.I.P. Hedgie. Yeah. My dad is like a big guy with a soft heart, especially for small things. Mm-hmm. Satisfying shading. Your glasses are already ready to get picked up. You don't wanna. How come you don't want to get your glasses? Can you see me? Now that I think about this, you're it's sort of funny. You're like, oh yeah, the art looks great. Meanwhile, it's all a fuzzy blurb. I have glasses too. I've got my contacts in right now. Maybe I'll wear them on a different stream. I like them. I like them okay. I mean, they definitely... My eyesight is not a complicated thing. I'm nearsighted and... Okay. Yeah, that doesn't sound great. You must be able to see up close and far away. I'm saving my work. Saving my work right now. It's just funny. Ooh, the morning's getting on. I'm gonna go another 15 minutes and then we'll call it a day. But it's good progress so far. The farther I go, the more excited I am to finish. Or keep going, rather. This has definitely been not very difficult for me to motivate myself to get out of bed for, which is nice. I feel like sometimes that's the hardest part. Just showing up, just opening it up and doing something to push the project along. I'm thinking today that I might post some updates here, even if they are not in a perfect state of presentation. Like these, if I put these on my Instagram, people might think, oh, they're done, kind of, or whatever, and they're not. But kind of do want to farm engagement, but also sort of update with the process. Some of the, I don't know if you've seen it, but I've gotten some nice comments and compliments on the work. They've been encouraging me. I really like this playlist. It is a little bit sleepy, but I love the chillness of it. So I'm really grateful to have some alternate music too. It is, yeah. Yeah. I don't meditate. A lot of the drawing itself is kind of like a meditation. When I do it right, when I'm allowed to do it right. Like right now, I'm believe it or not, I'm really sort of clear of mind on a lot of this stuff. With I'm not doing a lot of thinking. Sort of letting the things do themselves. I feel like that is the benefit of tons and tons of practice with it. That I can trust my hand to more or less guide itself. It's been well trained. It's like a dog that's been well trained. You know, you don't need to put it on a leash. You can, of course, but it's not to the benefit of the dog. No need to unnecessarily encumber the instincts. My involvement at this state, like when I was doing the initial sketches, like this stuff, even with this, there wasn't much creative struggle. I really don't try to listen to what the thing itself is telling me that it wants to be. That's a very sort of fluffy way of describing things, but it's true a little bit. Removing my own influence as an obstacle to the progress is a big part of this. Do you meditate? Since you brought it up, I bet you do. Like I do some yoga practice, nothing serious. I used to go to classes and stuff when I had more time. In Los Angeles, yoga is still very trendy, very fun. Oh, hi, Inferno. Inferno, I'm a storyboard artist in Los Angeles. Do you know what that is? Like a storyboard artist? Your question being, how did you get so good at drawing? I definitely have heard that before. Yeah, I have been drawing since I was a baby. So I have a lot of mileage, like lots and lots of drawing. And not just at a hobby or habitual level, but on a daily basis. I have clients that shell out to get my my drawing input and output. I primarily work in advertising and like video game trailers. And that is sort of this venture. This is a side project, whereas like normally I would be too busy to have any time for this sort of thing. I still don't have any time for it. But they've announced that there's a Zelda movie coming out. I am an artist that works on video game trailers with cinematic appeal. So do you play video games, Inferno? Like, for instance, I did a lot of work on Clash of Clans and Apex Legends, for instance. Do you know how I can become as good as you? I'm 15 and I've started art late in life. First, I'll say that this is a educational stream not intended for minors necessarily, but there isn't going to be any bad stuff. It's just sometimes I can use crude language, so can just consider yourself forewarned. That said, how can I become as good as you? You have not started late in life. 15 is a great time to start taking things seriously. I only started taking things very seriously when I was 14. So, and that's not a joke. From the ages of, from about 8 to 13, I did not take it seriously. And before the age of 8, while I did draw very well for my age, I was certainly not taking anything seriously. So, but when I was up until the age of 14, and even at 15, 16, 17, I was probably playing more video games than I was drawing. You are not too late. Though it may seem that way if you are looking at other people and judging yourself comparatively. Well, if you're serious about looking into art, this is cheesy, but you should follow my channel. And I also post updates on YouTube under the same handle, just at MaxFWD. Max Forward is my name. You're interested primarily in what? Just doing your own personal art, or do you want to become a professional artist? You would love to be an animator. So here's a little fun history is my mom was a storyboard artist at Disney for about 30 years or something. And she and my father both worked as animators at an animation studio called Filmation in the 80s, working on He-Man, the original He-Man. So to an extent, you could say there's like a genetic component to perhaps some of the talent that I'm exhibiting. But that doesn't mean that that's not the end of anything. There's plenty of other explanations. And ultimately, you got to get there through a lot of practice, a lot of mileage. And when I say mileage, I just mean you got to draw and make time for it in a way that is in consideration of sacrificing maybe other pursuits. And that's sort of it. Draw for at least an hour a day at your age. If you do that, just an hour a day, starting at 15, you will be excellent by the time you are graduating high school. No joke. Pretty obviously simple formula right there. What cartoons are you interested in? Now that you want to be an animator, I'm gonna absolutely blow your mind with little bits of fun trivia about me and cartoons. Have you ever heard of Adventure Time? Find my channel. My channel, if you go to Google and you search for @MAXFWD, that'll be the... Now, I'm new to streaming. Like, all I've been doing is just posting some of the Zelda stuff. If you look at the earlier streams, you'll see where... See, did you happen to see any of this stuff? I've been live streaming the entire... Yeah, you can if you want to, Jules, you can post a link in the chat. I allow for that. That is I like to live dangerously. But Inferno, all of these rough sketches for these compositions were done live earlier on. How come you only got 18 subs? I'm new at this, and also, believe it or not, it's not a popularity contest, okay? There's you know, I may not be winning at the social media game, but the you know, I'm doing pretty well in the real life giant corporations paying me real money to actually work on real projects game. I look really professional compared to some streamers. Here's the secret: is the reality is that people who are extremely good at art are busy making money at it and not streaming, and it is actually because there is a I mean, you may have heard of this. There have been a lot of layoffs in game development and a lot of layoffs in entertainment. I mentioned this. I live in Los Angeles, where, you know, this is an entertainment hub, and the attrition rate, the amount of shows that are canceled and people who work in the movie and entertainment business that are unemployed right now, it's the worst it's ever been. Now, I'm a little bit insulated from that because I work primarily in advertising, and advertising is, there's an inelastic demand for commercials and advertising products. So even if television en masse is suffering and movies are faltering, if they, even on Twitch, they need commercials, right? But the reason I look professional in some of this stuff is I am a professional. That's the mind-blowing fact. But give me a commercial example. Let's see here. I storyboarded. I might have to pause this music. Batman Arkham. Here we go. Okay, hang on. Okay. Do a little pop-out player. Wait, that's not working. Yeah, how can I do this? Okay, this works. I'll just bring this over here. So I storyboarded this. This came out a couple weeks ago. It is the audio might not be kosher for like the stream. It'll probably get muted in the final product, but I worked on this. I was the storyboard artist on this. So that's literally my day job. Well, not all the products I work on are as cool as Batman. Thank you. Here, I'll show you some drawings from that too. Let me save my Zelda work really quick. Okay, that's saved. Pull me up some Batman drawings. Unlike a lot of clients, the Batman client actually gave me permission to show some of this work, which is nice. If you're familiar with animation, you probably know that in animation, storyboard artists are sort of held up as very important, obviously, to the process. Oh, Jules, thanks for posting the link. That is the correct link, I believe. Let's see here. Yes, this is me, my little channel with 19 subscribers now. So I wonder who has joined. But let me pull up the some Batman stuff. Lots of, yeah, Manta. Here we go. Takes time to load this stuff. Yeah, there are a lot of different yeah, so this is cool. This is like the opening shot. So this is super early in the process, but it can give you a good example of how rough like storyboards. 20 subs now. And there we go. Okay, so if you remember the trailer, I'll try and make this a little bigger. The storyboard artist is like the first person on a project, right? Or like one of the first artists. So when I got on that project, like there weren't any designers. It was me, the director, the client, or rather clients, because on a complicated project like Batman, there are many levels of what you would call stakeholders, all of which represented in this opening frame. Meta, which is owned by Facebook. So it's like several companies just in one there. They make the Oculus Quest. So that's like 3 companies represented just for the hardware and the software dev. Now the IP, the Batman, is owned by DC, which is, I think, owned by Warner Brothers or something. So there's a lot to the process. And when there are many things where people need to feel like they can get input and approval before something is finished, that's where they need storyboards to sort of see the progress. And if I tab through these, you can see that pan down shot where this rat comes in. So we see the shadow of it, and then we see it sort of make a noise and run off. Oh yeah, and so this shot got cut, but I wanted to show, like, what if like a pebble fell, and we open. Okay, so you can see, oops. Okay, these are the notes for the project. I gotta be careful with some of this stuff because I'm an idiot and I'll put like plain text passwords or something like that sometimes in a text file. No way you did all that. Oh, a doubter. Let's see here. There's lots of stuff I should show. What is this? Oh, I definitely trust me, I did it all. Okay. This is, yeah, so this is kind of cool. The final ending shot, there were different variations, but when they threw down the smoke, they did that. It's essentially the camera drones up to reveal the logo, and so this is like a proof in concept for that. So you can kind of see, and these are very rough drawings. So storyboarding, the way I do it, is a lot like just rough animation. That's really just how I think about it. Did you ever play like Apex Legends or anything? Harsh Max part. What does that mean? Me being harsh on myself? I'm not sure. But the But I've been doing this long time. Anyway, I'm excited to have a artist follower. Play Overwatch, Brawl Stars, Clash Royale, a little bit of Clash of Clans. Did you ever see the Clash of Clans short film they did, Lost and Crowned? This thing. Yes, you did. Well, then you are quite familiar with my work. I storyboarded this. Did you know that? Did you know I storyboarded it? Now, this had a team of, there were 2 other storyboard artists as well. You know, this thing, this big old thing. I know the guy that painted that, for instance. That's a real painting. But, you know, Larry and whatever the, yeah, these are fun. Like, I drew tons of boards for this scene. All these scenes. No way, no way. Here, I'll show you some stuff. Oh, Lost and Crowned. When was that? 2018? Dive deep, deep into the archives. Opening too many files now. Let's go back. Here we go back. And everything I work on is like NDA and super secret. So that's why I can't like have all my files like open for everybody to see. But here, Lost and Crowned. Here we go. That was not a I mean, productions are never smooth, but there was a lot of experimenting with, well, what do we do here? What do we do there? Let me just see. Like all of these are fun to see, pretty much. Where can I? The director would he had a lot of different ideas. We had to draw basically everything that the director wanted us to see. Unfortunately, it's not super interesting if I what if I just look at these? Okay. If you can see, when's your next stream? I try to stream every morning around this time. Pissing off the fire spirits, getting dragged away. A lot of this stuff is just not in order. It would get, oh, here they are on the rocket. Here they are running away from something. So they need to be in like better order with this stuff. A lot of small changes. It's a real slog with some of this stuff. Yeah, but there he is, like climbing on top of all the bombs, running around, grabbing swords, touching things. It's super disorganized right now. I should put together something a little more comprehensive. And then, only because it's somewhat educational, there was another artist on it who she was really great. Oh, that's okay. Well, I hope things are well, and I'll see you Monday, or you'll see me. This is another artist who was on the project. She was handling like the intro stuff. And it all went through several variations on this stuff. Oh, this was a fun. Here's a little Inferno. This is a little bit of oh, you're going to visit family. Well, good for you. Hope everything goes well with that. There was a scene that got deleted where they go into the like a mess hall. I mean, we really wanted to cram it full of characters. They were supposed to go into a mess. Oh, wait. Oh, look at this. Well, this is kind of fun. You can see this is what we call an animatic. This is how they try to time out storyboards with music and audio. So the artist that worked on these scenes was not me. That was a separate artist, extremely talented artist that I know. You know, they hired the best people they could. Okay, so these are some of my rough sketches where... So you can see where things are similar but different from how they were... how things eventually ended up. This was a very early draft of the animatic. Okay, yeah, you can see they were trying to get fire spirits involved very early on, doing different things. Anyway, there was a... I cannot sanction showing you the entire crazy alternate version of the thing. As cool as that would be. That is not a client that necessarily lets me do whatever I want, so we will have to... you know, and it all seems very unfair, but part of the, you know, the pay is good for what we do, and there is, as a result, a good amount of discretion, or like, hey, you have to be able to keep a secret. And of course, this was like over, what is that, 6 years ago? So that's not something that it's not like an industry secret or anything like that. But like, you know, I'm privy to like seeing all this cool, like this is cool concept art that I got to see early on. That I didn't draw, I didn't paint this, but you know, when you work in the industry, you get to see cool stuff like this. So if this is any interest to you, you should take it seriously now that you've got a chance at a head start on your peers, and just be diligent about it. And you know, and this would be a good stream for you to, you know, you don't have to be. Yes, we're all about encouraging kids to do things if anything, just don't get into like using AI to take shortcuts, if you can, because that's like the dark side. And once you start doing that, that would be a no-no. Try to learn the fundamentals if you can, and this is always going to be exactly, yeah, exactly. No one will be immune to my amazing influence. Well, gang, the hour is actually getting a little long. I have to remember that I have children I got to make breakfast for and get them off to school. So I'm gonna have to end the stream. But I really appreciate the company, the encouragement, and I hope it is of some benefit to all. I'll get a little music to play us out. And so, yes, so dear readers, dear viewers, I will say adieu. And if anybody else is listening, I do try to do this very regularly at any time from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. Start at Pacific Standard Time. So if you can, check it out. Subscribe if you want. or check out the YouTube. I put my VODs there just to archive them. On Instagram, there are various little things you can follow me on. If you are a sensitive miner, do not follow Axe Drawform, because that is where I post my figure drawing studies. If you are not a sensitive miner, consider learning your artistic anatomy, and when you are feeling mature enough, try to pick up some figure drawing classes in your area. Go to live ones. That is a great way to increase your drawing ability. It's always hard in the beginning. Just get the mileage in it. It's like a musician playing scales. It can be boring, but you really don't want to skip the fundamentals, because the fundamentals are the only thing that matters. And if all you do is pay attention to them, then everything else is easy. It really is. Okay, that's it for today. Adios.